are located. And first, actually, let me actually share what these billboards look like here. Let's see. We're going to go to Apostate Alex's website. And Apostate Alex was a key part in working on this and getting it done as well. So here we have
that one right there
Uh-huh.
is if you kind of look to the left of that across the street and just down, you can see the Scientology building, the Scientology Media Productions. And so the one at the picture on the left anyway, the one on the right, I can't remember where that one is, but the one that says need help leaving Scientology, this is like a split picture here.
Yeah.
But we tried, they were as close to the Scientology buildings as possible, or on the bus routes that the staff would take to get to from their berthing.
Participated, who donated to make this happen. Because can you talk a little bit about the strategy behind where these billboards are located? And first, actually, let me actually share what these billboards look like here. Let's see. We're going to go to Apostate Alex's website. And Apostate Alex was a key part in working on this and getting it done as well. So here we have
that one right there is if you kind of look to the left of that across the street and just down, you can see the Scientology building, the Scientology Media Productions. And so the one at the picture on the left anyway, the one on the right, I can't remember where that one is, but the one that says need help leaving Scientology, this is like a split picture here.
Yeah.
But we tried, they were as close to the Scientology buildings as possible, or on the bus routes that the staff would take to get to from their berthing to their orgs that they work in, to the organizations they work in. So, and there's enough of them around that if they're up there long enough, the message should get out to them.
Yes. So this is, again, like Phil said, these are two different photos. I love that it's near Scientology Media Productions. And let's talk about that for a minute. Some people might not know. Scientology Media Productions, from what we hear, is where David Miscavige spends a lot of time.
Yeah, it's where they do all the put all their videos together, and when they do events, and where they edit the videos, and it's kind of like a production studio that's specifically for Scientology. That's owned by them. It's staffed by Sea Org members, Scientology Sea Org members, and so this is right in their area. And and often if they're walking or driving in the area, hopefully they'll see that sign. And the phone number on there is very easy to remember. It's just 888-FREE-002. At a glance, they can see it, and then it's not like they have to carry something with them. And if they get asked about, do they know the phone number? And you can't really tell someone, you need to forget that phone number. Once it's in their head, it's in their head.
Yeah.
So at any time they decide they want to leave, even if those billboards are long gone, if they have that phone number in their head, then at some point, if they decide they want to leave and they need help to leave, because a Sea Org member, they're as close to slave labor as you can get. They work 100+ hours a week. They get very little pay, maybe I think it's $40 a week or less, something like that. It's just very little. And they have to pay their own, things like toothpaste and deodorant and all that kind of stuff. So they're not going to have any extra cash. They may have been forced to disconnect from family, and they might not have phone numbers. What are they going to do? They walk out that door. Which way are they going to go, left or right? Who are they going to go and see? Where are they going to go? They have no idea. So a lot of them probably end up just not leaving because they don't know where to go. If they have a phone number, all they need to do is go somewhere where they can borrow a phone, because a lot of Sea Org members aren't allowed to have phones. Most of them aren't. They don't have internet access. At least if they have a phone number and they can call it up and say, listen, I'm out, I need some help, and it'll be handled. And that number is answered 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there is help for people, the Sea Org and staff members. Like the staff members in local organizations don't sign billion-year contracts, but they sign either a 2.5 or 5-year contract, and the same, they get very little pay. They may not have anywhere to go really to get out, or they might need some help. They might have given up their education in order to join Scientology and have virtually nothing. So there is help out there for them, which is really good to know.
Yes. And the billboards, let's take a look at the other ones here, actually. Let me scoot down here. Here is an example of, well, let's look at this one first. So this is a quote from Mike Rinder. The difference between a religion and a cult is what happens when you try to leave. I think that is an amazing quote to use. I think it's really powerful. And I feel that when I read that, it actually gave me goosebumps, because as a former Scientologist, and even I tried to put myself in the shoes of a Sea Org member seeing that. And It took a while because I have a hard time putting myself back into that mindset. Thankfully, hopefully it's very difficult for
Yeah.
me, and it is. And I tried to put myself back in that mindset. What would be my feeling if I saw that? The different, what happens when you leave? That determines if you're in a cult or not. That would have resonated with me
Yeah.
because
I,
we know how hard it is to leave the C organization. We know how difficult they make it to leave staff. You have to do a series of steps on a routing form, and every step is designed to manipulate you into staying.
right. Right. And if you, if you want to leave, it's always in the back of your mind, like, okay, if you asked a staff member or a Sea Org member, can you leave anytime you want? They would say, of course I can. But they know what's going to happen if they just walk out the door. People will be sent after them. They'll be almost physically brought back. In some cases, that's happened. They can't legally, physically bring them back, but it has happened. But they'll be, I mean, the pressures that are brought to bear. Oh, you'll lose your family. You'll lose this. You'll lose everything. Your whole life. You won't have to. I mean, the pressures they put on people to stay. Uh, they know in their minds they know they can't just walk out the door and
Yeah.
say, okay,